Yo, what's up, folks? This Impact, and I want to take this time to welcome you all back to the Hurt Business 101. Let's get right into this video, man. Today's video, I want to talk about this fight tomorrow night and give you guys my breakdown and prediction for Jaime Munguia versus John Ryder on the zone. Let's get right into it. Listen, this fight is going to be a real banger, y'all. This is not going to be one of those fights where you're going to be disappointed. I know we're not dealing with the really, really big names. Jaime Munguia has a name, but he's not quite at that level where you would look at it and say, he's one of the guys in the upper echelon of boxing or nothing like that. And neither is John Ryder, but I'm telling you right now, this could be one of those firework type fights, one of those sleeper fights that nobody expected to be like in the running for fight of the year, because you're dealing with two guys that are aggressive and gritty, and I'm really excited to break this thing down. Listen, John Ryder is one of those really gritty and rugged kind of guys. He's not going to be one of these guys that's going to come in there and lay down. He doesn't fold up. He always comes and brings. He's one of them guys that bring his lunch pail, and you're gonna have to pack a hearty lunch when you're going to deal with John Ryder because he's very sturdy. John Ryder in this fight, he needs to come forward and use those crafty angles and crafty ways that he likes to get on the inside. So he keeps his head off the line. He slips, slides, he catches punches, he returns punches from weird angles. And while he's throwing those punches from those angles, he closes distance and gets in close. And I believe in this fight, he's definitely going to have to use that craftiness. He definitely has underrated defense because he does get hit, but he gets hit because of his aggression. You know what I'm saying? But when he's not in an aggressive mode and he's actually using his defense, he does it very well because he knows how to slip and slide shots along with closing distance. So with him being a shorter fighter, with that stature that he has, him needing to get on the inside, he's used to finding those ways to get on the inside. But sometimes he will shoot it out a little bit, and that's where he gets caught in trouble. And that's how he got knocked down against Canelo and stuff like that. He got a little bit too brave, but that's the kind of guy he is. But in this fight, he needs to get his head in Jaime Munguia's chest, work over the shoulders. You know what I mean? Stay in that range. That mid range is no good for him. He's not good from that range at all, particularly against a guy like Jaime Munguia, who's taller, has a longer reach, and is better at fighting at the mid range. Jaime Munguia is going to have to do what he does. He's a mid range fighter that throws a lot of combinations and he lets his hands go. And Jaime Munguia's defense has holes in it like a Jamaican fishnet shirt. But that's because he's so offensive minded that he's not one of these guys that's concerned or always worried about the incoming, because he wants to get his shots off and he's willing to get touched. And that's where he's vulnerable, I see, in this fight. If John is able to slip and slide and throw some things in between Jaime's shots, because Jaime gonna be letting his hands go. Jaime is a volume puncher, and he throws a lot of combinations. It's not single shots, and with that aggression and his overall strength, he has heavy hands. The right and the left both heavy. He can hurt you with both. Um, he's vicious to the body, and that's the shot that I believe that he needs to really work on. If he wants to try to get John Ryder up out of there, I believe it's going to be a body shot, because Ryder is really sturdy in the head, and he also works well once he's hurt. So if Jaime is to catch John and hurt him, John is able to get himself back together with his veteran tricks. You know what I mean? He knows how to buy himself time. He knows how to tie up. He knows how to use his legs just enough to gain his bearings back. He has really good recovery. Canelo hurt him bad a couple times in that fight, and he was able to recover and get right back into the fight. Now, it wasn't a close fight against Canelo, but it was one of those fights where you clearly knew Canelo was winning the fight, but you never felt like John wasn't like right there to go back at him. He continually tried to win that. And Jaime is definitely going to be in for a long night. But yeah, this is one of them fights where the distance is going to be crucial. Whoever is really able to control the distance, John Ryder, all the way up in his chest. I mean, he needs to get all the way up in his chest. He needs to really try to stay connected to Jaime Munguia as much as possible. If he can get Jaime Munguia crowded up against the ropes, that'd be even better, because if they're at the middle of the ring and he's up in his chest, Jaime can kind of like step back or push him back and create enough space to keep running those numbers and volume. Jaime wants to run the numbers on you. He wants to overwhelm you. He wants to out hustle you, and he wants to break you down with those heavy hands over time. He needs to keep his head in his chest and try to get Jaime to the ropes where Jaime doesn't have room to make that space. And that'll be his key to victory in this fight. But Jaime, he just got to do what he does. And hopefully for him, attrition from that brutal war that John Ryder had with Canelo kicks in, and he's just not the same sturdy guy that he was prior. Because if he is, I don't see Jaime being able to get him out of here, particularly not with no one shot. And if you, like I said before, if you catch John Ryder with a shot that kind of hurts him but doesn't put him away, he knows how to survive. And unless you get an overzealous ref that's just going to jump in there and stop the fight, he finds a way to get himself through those moments. You know what I mean? He's a real hard nosed, blue collar fighter that will give it his all. But my prediction for this fight, if you're a betting man, I would say Jaime Munguia, 8 rounds to 4. But the rounds will be highly contested rounds. You know what I mean? They won't be like those one-sided rounds. I still think he'll win 8 rounds to 4, but I don't believe they'll be like rounds where he just beating them down. And also, if you really want to be aggressive and you're a betting man, you can go for K stoppage around 10 through 12. But if that happens for Jaime, that's going to go. I believe that's going to either be started off by a body shot that puts some hurting on him, or he's going to have to stop him to the body. I don't see him stopping him to the head, like I said, unless that attrition has kicked in. So my prediction: Jaime Munguia, 8 rounds to 4, unanimous decision, or late round stoppage by body shot, and that's what I'm going with. Listen, folks, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to another edition of the Hurt Business 101. You know what they say, it's no business like show business. But I say it's no business like the hurt business. 1-0-1, done.